ground. I don't want to get launched across the room.
What's up, everybody? Robert Van Valkenburgh here at Kogen Dojo with Stuart Ramos, not Ramos. Teaching
Tacos or tacos?
Yeah, tacos or tacos. I like tacos. So Stu just did a judo seminar workshop over here, teaching some of his judo system from Jason Morris, some of the Olympic style judo stuff. Everybody's sparring a little bit now. So what got you into judo in the first place, Stu?
Well, I grew up in Honolulu, Hawaii, well, the Big Island, and first, like, until I was like 5. And before that, I would just watch my father. My father used to work out at this place called Hilo Honwaji. He was a black belt in judo, and my older brother. And we moved to Hawaii, Oahu, and then I started in a club called Shunyokan. It's a very old club. Some of these clubs are the first martial art clubs in the United States. Like Jigoro Kano founded that club. The name Shunyokan, he named it, so it's pretty good. And when I turned 5, and then it was time. My dad just gave me the gi, and we're going to practice, and that's how I started the judo thing. I wasn't very good at it. Like a lot of my friends back home, they're like, "Yep, Stuart sucked when he was a kid." I was bad. I admit it. I was probably the worst. I didn't win a match, shit, let alone get a throw or anything for like 5 years. Hawaii judo was very hard back then. 30 kids in your bracket. It wasn't a double elimination thing. Didn't have true doubles later on. It was just the old school brackets where all the losers get put in a big bracket. So winning third place is harder than winning first place. So you get a good back bracket. You got to win 15 matches. They did away with that after a while. We did away with that. So I liked it. It was good.
So now you're training kids for the Olympics, right?
That's the goal.
So, yeah.
That's the goal. Well, now I have a program. I opened my school in Towson, Maryland, and then not a lot of guys know that I didn't even teach kids. I did it because growing up, I remember it was such a nightmare with not the kids, but of course the parents. It was hard to deal with. What happens, you see it a lot of times, what happens, you get a talented kid, and what do the parents do? Put them in everything. Lacrosse, football, you got soccer league and this. And no offense to those sports, but as life skills, probably not that useful. And self-defense martial arts, I mean, God forbid you have to defend yourself. I mean, tackling them might be okay, but that doesn't help you. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really help you. So, it's always the last thing they teach you. So I don't know. I didn't do much. I liked baseball. I was too short. But I liked baseball. I wasn't very good at that either. So I was good at the individual sports like boxing, wrestling. I was okay. I wasn't really good. I didn't shoot or anything in wrestling. I just did the judo. And judo I was okay until I was little. When I got teenager, I was a very strong kid. So the judo part got easy for me, and I trained a lot more. And then I met Jason, and I got better.
Yeah. And you're also a black belt under Helson Gracie in Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
Yes. Yeah, so the Helson thing, it was pretty funny. Back in the day, before Helson had school, he just teach out of his garage on a tarp. And that was brutal because, you get all kinds of burns from that. We used to use those old school huge gis. They're like the yellow, like the bad cotton. Like it was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. We got sore. So it was just $5 a class. Bring your $5 and you rumble all day.
It's a little more expensive than that to get a
class. Yeah. Private lesson was $60. I remember it was $20 a piece for like a private lesson, and but it was just the class part was $5. He just basically had like one of those old teacher books, and then $5. It's good stuff.
My eyes bulge because I'm watching a kid beat up an adult right now. It's pretty awesome.
Oh well,
yeah. These kids are really good.
The thing about the thing about that with the kid thing is I didn't train kids when we first opened the dojo. for that reason. He's like, I am not. My grandfather, who did most of the babysitting at my house, it was a lieutenant colonel in the World War II. So, yep, mouth like a trash can, old school. And I didn't really believe in babying the kids. You know, nowadays they baby them too much. You know, oh, are you okay? And comforting and all that stuff. I didn't want to do that. So I didn't teach kids in the beginning. I didn't have kids classes. It wasn't until later I found the demand for achievement. Not just participating and getting kids involved, but achievement. How good is he?
Right.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can win your little state or regional tournament, but how good are you on the planet? I got Alexa here. He's number 50 in the world, and Julian's been the best kid in his division for 2 years in a row out of 5 years we've been playing. So I wanted some achievement based stuff, and you can't treat them like kids when you do that.
Yeah.
You can't treat them like kids.
Right. It's different.
Yeah, I've sworn at them before. I've told them they're stupid. You know what I mean? And it's all out of it. If you're gonna do that to the kid, right? You have to build that rapport. You have to get in there. You have to be on the mat with them. You can't just yell at them and leave. You know, you gotta talk to them. And you know, some of you don't know, I have an MBA, and I can do all the math. So I help them with their physics homework, their calculus, and all that stuff. You have to be invested in it.
Yeah.
You can't just teach them and call them stupid and then let them roll out thinking that's how you feel.
Right.
You have to explain, okay, I was heated. And I'm always apologizing. I make mistakes hourly. I mean, I trade stocks, so might be by the minute. I might make mistakes for a whole month.
Yeah.
So you have to invest in them. You have to tell them, okay, this is what you did. You know, in the beginning, you gotta move their bodies for them, and then let them do it on their own. Go back in there and move the body. So it's hard. It was hard developing kids to get good at something.
But it's obviously worth it because they look amazing on the mat, and I've seen the videos of their matches and stuff like that. I mean, it's impressive athletes for sure.
But it's not until you see it in person, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then you're like, wait, what?
Right.
You can teach, and then show you my methodology.
Yeah.
How to approach it.
Yeah.
Because I'm very familiar, not good at it, with the Aikido thing. I went to a school in Japan, and they had Aikido there, and a lot of them, I was just confused. It's so intricate.
Yeah.
Here it's so intricate, and the naming, the nomenclature was so bad. I just couldn't get it. I couldn't wrap my head around it. If you didn't speak Japanese, you weren't gonna get it because you wouldn't know what it meant. You know, and how to properly enunciate some of those words, you weren't gonna get it. Yeah. So confusion.
Yeah.
That was the big thing. Well, with that, I took all of that out of my program. It's just numbers, shapes, and letters. So if you're French, Korean, Cambodian, whatever, you're gonna know what ABC 1, 2, 3, circle, right, square, triangle gonna mean. We can teach.
Yeah. It's a really cool way of looking at it because you can just call out the number and they know exactly what to do, as opposed to having to say, you know, Morote Seonage, right? Yeah, Morote Seonage. You call out the number. I mean, you still use the names for the techniques, but all of the setups and everything is letters, shapes, and numbers, so that they know what the setups are, and their body's gonna find the technique once they're in the setup.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like I had to find some kind of medium where I can start to coach them. And you go to a judo tournament and everybody's screaming, you know, Tai Toshi, you know, kill the sleeve, you know, none of that stuff helps. And you go to a jiu-jitsu tournament, it's even worse. Mm-hmm. Posture up.
Yeah. Yep.
Get heavy. I mean, I'm a heavy now.
Don't let him do that.
Yeah. Don't let him do that. That's my favorite. Don't do the other thing.
Yeah.
And you know, and then you've never really found the way. A little bit about our coaching is that I've coached 5,000 matches. Mm. And like Alexa and Julian, they probably have over 500 matches apiece. I had to find a way to coach them so I'm coaching them, not coaching the other guy, them not listening to anybody else, something we can work on. Because when you're out of the fight, me as a coach, right, I'm looking for things that they're not looking for or have a hard time finding. Left-handed, right-handed, up player, down player. They're leaving the legs back. They're squaring up. Sometimes you're not seeing that when you're turned and their reaction. A lot of things that we coach is about reading the hip. So that would be the next part in that form.
Yeah.
One ABC grip, and they're moving. Read the hip. Are they bent over? Are they standing up? Legs are squared. So those kind of things, as we move forward, it is simple. The mechanic and the when you look at it with a myopic point of view, it's all small, but the total currency is big.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's that putting in, getting 90% result from 10% input.
Right. And when you start teaching your jiu-jitsu like that,
we almost had some judo on top of the iPad.
Yeah. The boy does not stay over there. When you start teaching, I mean, you guys just open, right? You guys a year
right?
and a half. And when you're trying to figure out your teaching style, right? You're like, okay, now I'm in a school, right? I know what I like, right? But how do I teach what I like?
Right, it's very different.
Sometimes you can't teach what you like,
Yep,
because when you like, you're a big guy, right? This kid comes in, he's getting bullied. He's 60 pounds, but he's 10, right? He comes in, and the parent hands him over, and you don't have any of the students that's inside because you just open, right? My son wants to learn self-defense. What do you do? Throw me in your guard? You know what I mean? Like, what do you do, right?
Yep.
We're gonna do no-gi today. Like we talked about, right? Train a lot of guys. Oh, I'm gonna go over here to this school because they train more sport. Oh, I'm gonna go over here. They train no-gi, and they entered no-gi. They didn't do so well. Oh, I'm gonna try sport. I'm gonna try submission only, and it's like, no, that's all false, because if you don't learn fundamentals, you'll never hop from one to the other, right? It's just, you have to learn how to hold this guy down. You have to learn how to hold that position. You have to look, for this leg. You have to look for the arms. It's a different thing.
Look at the principle so that it overlaps in whatever you do.
Now you can teach it to a 60-pounder or a 600-pounder. My program's not going to change because you're big, strong, and athletic. Right. Like, look at Scott over there. He's 6'something", 6'4". I mean, he's probably a blue belt, but shit, man, because he has old man strength and he's long, he gives a lot of people problems. But his game is very basic. He gets on you and he starts smashing you, and he just doesn't do anything fancy. He doesn't go many places. Picks the head up, right? Gets him on the ground and uses that advantage. So a person that's a blue belt can roll with a guy that is a brown belt or a black belt, and still get to work his game, right? Because his game is very simple.
Yep.
You get your game too complex. Like I said, I had a student that wanted to do this, and there was a foot locker and all that. Couldn't do points because he was always giving up points. And then he said, well, I'm going to do no-gi. No-gi, and still lost.
It's the same thing in jiu-jitsu.
I'm going to do submission only.
You're moving yourself from me.
Still lost because he didn't fix the problem.
Right.
The problem was that you don't play enough.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it's hard.
Well, do you have any advice for anybody who's just starting out in jiu-jitsu or judo or anything like that? Like what to look for, what you wish that you knew when you were younger?
I would be patient with yourself. Because when you go into a club and you're a white belt, right? And you look at the collective, right? I'm a white belt. What should I be doing? And you should try to focus on one thing. Like today, I'm gonna learn how to get out of that pin. Oh shit, I'm not gonna get out. So what do I gotta do? So you can get out, you gotta create space. You gotta learn how to shrimp, right? You gotta learn how to get in your side. You gotta keep your elbows in. So all those little details from a big idea, like I'm gonna get out of this pin, break it down to the finest little detail. Elbow in, head down, shrimp, right? If I was starting jiu-jitsu again, and I had to redo all the classes I took with Hulsen, I would have went to practice early, and the move that I learned the day before, I would have broke it down to the littlest micro, like how we do the gripping, left hand in, right hand, boom, attack the triangle. I would have looked at it that way. You know, when I was a kid, when Helsing had his class, I was just like, I'm gonna beat up my friend Ross. I'm gonna jump on Regan. I didn't have that mentality. Like, oh my God, the guy got my back 5 times last week. I didn't even know it. I wasn't keeping track of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't keeping track. I wasn't having a like now I have an active journal.
Interesting.
And I have an active journal. Sometimes I forget something that I did, especially if you have a breakthrough, right? Like I couldn't throw anybody when I was a kid. I had no throw. I mean, it doesn't look like it now, but when I was a kid, I couldn't throw anybody. I used to just do the jiu-jitsu. I could just rough them up on the ground and grind them up, and you know, hopefully something breaks off. I didn't have a throw. I should have been like, why can't I throw? I had a bad grip strategy. I was trying to hug the guy all the time instead of control him and get my hands inside and start to kill him. So I had a bad idea. If I would have tracked that in the journal, I probably could have looked at it. Damn, I didn't throw anybody for 3 months now.
Right.
Maybe I should work on that. You know what I mean? So keeping a journal helps. I know my sensei, my father, he kept a journal of all kinds of stuff. He's a psychologist, so he had journals of patients and all that, and he used to keep track. Even though he was older and he was teaching, he said, oh, you know, so Trevor had a breakthrough today in judo, finally got him to get a ketsugatame. Or, you know, Kekoa had a nice tai toshi, but his arm is, you know what I mean? He had an active kind of journal, and I should have been a little smarter after that. So yeah, I mean, keep a journal, work on the littlest things, and be patient with yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't feel like you're getting any better because everybody around you getting better with you, right?
Yeah.
I know.
You come every day, there's always somebody there.
Right.
They're getting better too. It's not until you probably go to another school and play with somebody that just started where you were, and you play with them, and you're like, oh, this works, right? Yeah. This works. That's about it. I mean, the judo is the same way. The approach, you be patient with yourself, man. You can't. I can't express that enough, man. Like, people get frustrated because the skinny guy in class that's 100 pounds triangles him for days. Don't. That's just part of the process. When the parents approached me to start a judo competition team, I said no. Can you imagine that with these kids? I said no. And they're like, you know, weren't you a competitor? I go, yes, I was a competitor. But no, I'm not starting a judo competition team. One, the politics of judo is very ugly. It's a shit show. I'll be honest. USA Judo is terrible at collecting their resources and using them effectively, like any corporation, any nonprofit, 501c3. Because how do you fire volunteers? Right. You can't fire a volunteer, and you have nobody. So you have to have somebody in place that a good orchestrator. That's hard to find.
Yeah.
So they're terrible about it. And so I said, I don't want to do that. Jason told me, if I took care of that, what other problems do you have? I go, winning. Winning, let's be honest, if you're going to compete, it's winning, right? Maybe training's not. Winning, when you compete, winning is. I mean, that the optics of it, right? And I told the parents, I go, your kid is going to lose for a year. And they're like, what? You might lose for longer than that. I lost for 5. So if you're not okay with losing, there's one winner, one loser. So it's pretty likely, and you just started, and they were like 5-6 years behind other competitors, and still are. Some of those kids play from when they're 3 years old, and they're already 10, 12, 5-6 years behind a player. So you just started out. Like, you're gonna lose for a long time to catch up, but I have a way that we can. I simplified the teachings so I can get you 6 years of training in 6 months, and then it's after that. It's just a matter of effectively using it. So with the training part, that's why it's kind of like even Mike says it or Naki says it. you really won't understand how I teach judo and jiu-jitsu until you see it.
Yeah. And I really like the approach that you take to it.
Yeah, a lot easier. I mean, it encompasses more people. I mean, if you have to wait for the D1 athlete to come in here so you can have a good jiu-jitsu player, it says something about your program, not you.
Right.
So you do the same thing you just did. And what do you call that?
Well, we appreciate you coming out. Hopefully
thanks,
have you
man.
back out again.
Yeah. My man.
Sorry to interrupt the conversation.